Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed 5-minute podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on my podcast. I am back today with the follow-up as promised for the 7-day declarations. Now, if you guys have been following me, you will know that last week I just jumped on live on IG, something I never do. And the Lord was just leading me to tell you guys about what I've been doing all 2018 and really making declarations a lifestyle. Like, I affirm things, I decree and declare. This started in January, and I can tell you something. Everything has changed. Okay? And one of the things that I realized that we don't do is a lot of times we ask God for things repeatedly and we don't even pay attention to the fact that He gives us everything we need already. And if we do not tap into the directions that He gives us, if we do not execute the word that He gives to us, then we will always feel at a deficit, as if God is not listening or He's not answering. He's not doing what it is you're desiring. You don't think that He's taking heed to your request. You know, you can be feeling a myriad of different things and you're not realizing that you're not doing your part. The book of Job says that when you decree a thing, it shall be established. I want you guys to look up the definition of established. When something is established, it is put in place. Okay, it is what it is. It's a done deal. It is established. It is said. It is done. And so what the decrees and the declarations do, they basically make you pull from your inheritance, your heavenly inheritance, so to speak. And you're going to pull those things down from heaven so that they can meet you down here on earth. But just like when the Lord said, let there be light, boom, there was light. That is something that I want you guys to pay attention to. I want you guys to be in tune with. So let's just say you have not heard anything about the declarations, and this is the first time you're hearing of it. I want you to hit the link right below this, and I've already hyperlinked the episode when I talked about this. This was the following day, and I gave a whole spiel on how this thing is supposed to go. And again, this is not trickery. This is not foolery. This is not a Santa Claus list, and all of this is nothing like that. This is simply, you have to start somewhere, really saying those decrees and those declarations and really doing it from the right place. If you're not doing it from the place God intended, then you can miss God. You can sincerely miss Him. So what I want you to do, listen to the episode from last week, and I just want to give you guys a quick update just so that you can be on one accord with everything that's going on. Very quickly, because this is not a long episode, because honestly, I want you to hop to those declarations. I want the time I could spend talking and talking and talking. I did a whole bunch of talking on it last week, so I want you guys to jump in on it this week. And I did say that I was going to explain a couple things, so that's what I'll do, but we'll be right out of here after that. What I want you to know is this. I have had multiple people contact me and tell me that as a result of the declarations, they've seen some of them literally come into full manifestation. Now, let me explain something to you. You can say things, but also know you have to believe what you say, and you have to really trust that you are on one accord with God, and you will see those things come to pass. I'm always a proponent of praying and working, not just praying, not just working. You have to do both to balance yourself out. And that's always a good standard if you want to be inside of God's perfect will. Now, you can surely be inside of His permissive will if that's what you're okay with, because permissive will, if you're not aware, it's in the New Testament. I can't quite remember the scripture, but I'll find it for you guys. When you're in His permissive will, it's like, oh, well, it's cool if that's what you picked. Like, He's not mad at you. God is like, okay, but it's not like, this is top of the line. It's the best of the best. That's equivalent to God's will. So what I encourage with the declarations is permissive will is not allowed in your declarations at all. You want to be able to do things that are going to catapult you to the next level because you are seeking His perfect will, His best for you. It is not contingent upon, well, if this happens, or maybe if it might. No, that's why once you get the hang of it and you begin to make multiple recordings and you're like, okay, God, I said this today, but you know what? Now this has happened. And then boom, we go on to the next thing. Now that brings me to the second part that I told you guys I would talk about today. Now, after I had gotten to maybe, let's see, I started in January and did it every day. Okay. I honestly don't think I skipped a day. If I did, it might have been maybe 1 or 2 days. I can't even remember. All I know is that it has intrinsically become a part of my lifestyle. So I was listening to so many of them, and I cannot remember the number, but I think it might have been in the teens. But by the time April had come of 2018, God had told me one night, he said, listen, I want you to pull out all of your declarations, get a notebook, and play them back individually. So what I ended up doing was I made a sheet that said answered declarations and another one that said declarations that have yet to come to pass. And y'all, when I tell you I ended up nothing but tears, because literally some of them were ready to be deleted because God did everything I said in those declarations from January to April. So what I ended up doing was, in some of them, there were some things that I said that still haven't happened yet, but then other parts of that same declaration have happened. So honestly, I could have deleted them. I haven't deleted any of them, only because I just like to be reminded of how far God has taken me, and he may want me to do something with it later. But for now, it was just kind of a barometer set so that I can kind of see what the progress has been. And y'all, let me tell you something that God loves. God loves for you to try him, honey. That's why I know he's like cheesing, because he's like, yeah, what you thought I was going to be phony? You thought I wasn't going to do it for you, Robin? Like, go back and play it back for yourself. Boom, I did it. You dig? So I want you guys to do that too, because then it's going to show you that God is who he says he is for you. This is really just more confirmation for you. You dig? So you don't have to put yourself in that place of taking the responsibility for doing something that God said that he will do for you. So with that being said, I went on and I started to make my list, and it was just unbelievable. I literally had pages of answered prayers, declarations that I'd seen the full manifestation of. And then I went back and I had pages of things that had not been done. But it was nice. It was nice 50-50 spread. So I was with it. It was perfect because it let me know that, like I told you guys last week, nothing may not necessarily happen overnight. But some things that have been on back order, some things that you were not getting ahead of, some things that you should have been talking about, some things you should have been going to God for, those things that he's been waiting to drop down for months and even years. When you open your mouth in those declarations and say, boom, I want them, give them here, you're going to start getting them like that. Some people, I got a call the same day, actually, the first day of the declarations. Somebody had called me by like 7 that evening. They said I already did mine 3 times. Because, I suggested do breakfast, lunch, and dinner just as a time. If you don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's fine. But don't do them no less than 3 times. And once you record them, you just keep playing them back. And listen, this is not for public consumption. Unless God tells you to do that, this is personal. This is not for you, but for nobody but you and God. This is for you to plug in your headphones when you're walking and when you're working out. You can keep playing that bad boy. And let me tell you, they can be anything from 10 seconds to 10 hours. However long you feel led to do it, because there is no rule book to it. It's just you pouring out your heart to God and you let him do what he's going to do for you. Now for me, I average 6 or 7 minute ones. See, between 6 and 9 minute ones. The longest one I had thus far is 15 minutes. But y'all, it's so good because if you're trying to work out, if you're just trying to get in a 30-minute walk or a 30-minute run, you can play your 15-minute one 2 times or make 2 15-minute ones on 2 different things that you're really seeking God for. And y'all, I say everything from asking God, although I'm decreeing these things, to give me what I need so that it can be established. Because I could be asking for things and I don't have everything I need to get it done. So I include all of these things, and I always say, guys, when I start, look, Lord, decrease me, take me out of it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Right now, I am just your daughter. I am just your vessel, and I am just going to say whatever you are telling me to say, whatever I have not been able to say. So it's multiple things I'm going to throw out to you guys as examples. Use what you will, but that's the first one. Let's do that one. Decrease me, increase you. That's a great one. Another one, let me see myself the way you see me. It's another excellent. And the third one that I tend to throw in from time to time is simply, Lord, have your way. If I ask you for anything contrary to your perfect will, and I'm asking if I'm asking completely out of your will, or even if I'm minimizing it and asking for your permissive will, change it. Do something in me, in my core. Make me delete this, make me reword it, make me change it if you know it's still not going to get me on the highest level that you want me to be on. Y'all, we have that much authority, power, and control, and we just don't use it. It just seems like it's a shot in the dark. You know, I was reading something yesterday and it was saying how we have to be more specific in our prayers and not specific in a place of control, like, God, you better do it. No, but you're more specific in your confidence in conveying what it is you truly desire. And you will see God do that for you. So with that being said, I want you guys to remember, once you get to a certain point, you know, you'll feel led. If not, just remember this recording, go back and play it and just look at all of the ones that you've had, play them back and take notes. So here's the final part. What I did was I saved the ones that I put check marks, highlights. It was just crying. I was so excited. So many things happened and I didn't even realize it. Okay, so that turned into like hours of praise party, just nothing but praising and worshiping the Lord, just giving thanks because he did it. And I remember when I started the year, I felt so defeated. I felt played. I was coming through some heart issues, some healing issues, meaning like make sure my heart was in place the way God wanted it to be, really understanding that He is going to give me a phenomenal man of God as a husband. He's going to allow my dreams and visions to come to pass because I have given those things to him. So I had to kind of regroup with that and just really stop thinking of God on such a low level and getting caught up in what I see and realizing that what I see is zero caliber of what he actually has for me, because what he has for me may not look like what looked fancy. It may not look like what looked shiny. That may not even be the plug for me. You know, so I had to do that. So going into these declarations and even mentioning those types of things, seeing God begin to do these things one by one, is quite jarring. I must say it is totally jarring and is not something that I expected. So I want to encourage you if you're listening. And I want to remind you that when I took those declarations and I allow God to have his way, it changed the game. So what you'll do when you get to that phase of it, because I think I'm just going to periodically check in for the rest of the year and just pop up on some what's up with your declarations and just see how you guys are doing. Make sure if you have any questions, you want to run it to me about it. Please, if you have any praise reports, make comments under this podcast, download it, share it, forward it, and also send me an email. You can send it to podcast@imwiredtoinspire.com and I will hit you back. You let me know what you got going on. Tell me your story with your declarations and keep me posted. Also, share it with other people. Pay it forward. Don't hold it hostage. It's not a secret thing. I had somebody one time, I asked them for a prayer. They didn't want to give me their prayer. I could barely talk right now thinking about that. Like, I have never experienced something like that. And that's not even funny to me. I have never experienced somebody coveting a prayer. And it just gave me such great perspective on really seeing how you can really tell a person's heart by that. And they could be successful. They could have everything in the world, but it really tells you what's going on the inside. Because if a person feels like they can't share a prayer, and I'm not talking about a personal private prayer, you know what I mean? Where it's, you know, your personal thoughts and it's nobody's business. I'm not talking about that. I just mean like a really nice prayer that you can post or share or do whatever, and you literally don't want to share it. Like, that just blew my mind. So I want you to share this information and get with groups. Get a couple groups. If you have a team, a business, you have clients, or even if you have you have business partners, you have colleagues, mentors, mentees. You guys can come up with some group declarations that you want to see happen for current projects and schedule some time once a week where you guys check in, but make sure everybody playing them back once, twice, 3 times a day, multiple times. I say hundreds of times a day if you can. It's many times. I know that's crazy, but you know what I mean. Many times a day if you can. If you only get in one, that's great. If you can't get in none, that's fine. Make sure tomorrow you try again. So again, there's no rules. That's the beautiful part about it. It can be done loosely as long as it's done genuinely. That's the only thing God is looking for, is that your heart is pure towards him. You are genuine. You are authentic, and you actually believe what you're saying. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of you are going to start these declarations like myself. When I started, I didn't necessarily believe what I said, but I kept saying it until I believed it. And let me tell y'all, when I rose up to believe it and I started saying every day, let me see myself the way you see me, guess what? I started seeing the manifestation of those things that I pulled down from heaven now in the natural. So when you take the list of everything that you're like, okay, well, these things haven't come to pass. Well, surprise, guess what I did? I took that list and I made a whole new recording. I made a whole new declaration. So I rock with that one. And in 3 more months, when God, I'm saying 3, but if he might say it before a little later, but when God has me checking again, I'm going to go back and play that. And I'm going to X those things off. Because I can tell you one thing. As long as everything that I asked for was inside of the will of God, I can promise you there will come a day when I will not have to say any of those declarations and decrees anymore, because they will have come to pass. And God will be graduating me onto some new things. So I hope this encouraged you guys today. I hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you pop in today. Check my Instagram page, the Robin Nicole K page on IG, one word, one N, or I'm Wired to Inspire. I'm going to more than likely do the live again on my Robin Nicole page. I might try to do it on both pages if I can, but make sure you check in. This will already be posted. This is going to be posted at 5 a.m. the message today. So make sure that you get in and you check out that live as well. And I'm just going to flow in the spirit, whatever God is telling me to remind you guys about concerning these declarations. And hopefully I'll be able to share some specifics. And also you guys will be able to jump in the comments and you can see if anybody else has had any good experiences thus far with these declarations. So you guys be blessed. I'm so excited that you guys are getting in on these declarations and you are truly believing God, because y'all, we will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. It's going to be different for everybody, but you will see it. I am praying that your heart is authentic. I pray that you are genuinely ready for that change. And I truly, truly pray that you can hear God so clearly and that you can take whatever action he tells you to take, and you are unafraid in taking that action. Remember what the book of Job says. When you decree a thing, it shall be established. It is time for you to establish the life that God has for you. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to the inspirationspecialist.life or I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again, and see you next time.